Good morning, class. So today we are talking about 10 plus addition. So that's when you have the number 10 and you're adding ones to it. So if I had just the number 10, let's say I had just one tens rod, then I would write that in my eye chart. Ooh, that's really big. I would write that in my eye chart like this. It would just be a 1 and a 0 because we have 0 ones right now, right? And that's how I write the number 10. Okay, but let's say I want to do 10 plus 2. That's my addition. So I know I'm going to have a tens rod. I know I'm going to have two ones, so I'm going to add my ones into that eye chart like that. So now I have 10 plus 2. So I know that my tens place is not going to change, right? It's still going to have a 1 in it. And then in my ones place, I'm going to have 0 plus 2, which equals 2. So my answer is 12, okay? But there is an easier way to think about 10 plus problems. Because we know we're starting with 10, we know we're starting with 0 in the ones place, right? So anytime we add ones, we can pretend that the 0 doesn't exist. So let me show you that addition problem again a different way. So we have 110, right? We have 10 plus 2 is our addition problem. So in my brain, I want to hold the idea that my 10 is just a 10, and since I only have two ones here, I'm just going to put the ones right there. So I know 10 plus 2 is going to be 110 and two ones, which is 12. Okay, and this works for any 10 plus addition. So let's say we wanted to do 10 plus 4. So I have my tens rod, I have my 4 ones cubes, and I am going to hold this tens rod in my head. So I have 110 and 4 ones, which makes the number 14. So 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay, so you can keep going with this. All you have to do is remember that you're going to have a tens rod and your ones cubes, and think about what number that would be. So let's say we had 10 plus 7. So that means I'm going to have a 10 in my tens place. I'm going to have a 1 and a 7 to make 17. So 10 plus 7 is 17. Okay, so your challenge this week, guys, is to work on your tens plus facts. If you're somebody who's like, Miss Olson, I got this, I already know my tens plus facts by heart, I can do it right away, then I want you to work on something a little bit harder. If you already know your 10 plus facts, I want you to work on 100 plus facts. Okay, so with hundreds plus facts, we're going to do the same thing, except obviously our eye chart is going to get a little bit bigger. So let's scoot this over, make our eye chart a little bit bigger so we have a hundreds place. Okay, so now we've got hundreds, tens, and ones. So if I have hundreds plus, let's say I have 100 plus 50. I'm going to hold in my brain that I have 100. I'm going to have 5 tens and 0 ones. So it's going to be 150. Or let's say I want to do 200 plus 20. I'm going to hold in my brain that I have 2 hundreds, 2 tens, 0 ones. So I know my answer is going to be 220. Okay, so whichever of these you're ready for, whether it's doing tens plus or hundreds plus, that's what I want you guys to focus on. So remember, hundreds plus is for more of a challenge. If you're somebody who's feeling like you already know your tens plus, I want you to focus on hundreds plus. But if you're someone who doesn't really know their tens plus facts yet, remember, we can hold the 10 in our brain and add on the ones cubes. So 10 plus 7, I hold the 10 in my brain. I know there's 7 ones, so my answer is going to be 17. All right, guys, have fun practicing.